Okay, this video is going to show you how to do a milk audit by month using our automated milk audit feature. So to get started, go ahead and click on Milk Audit on the main dashboard. Down here, you're going to see any milk audits that you conducted in the past, along with the method that was used for that. If you want to view that milk audit, you just click on this hyperlink here under month and year. We also have a reminder that you should close out your month of meal counts, menus, and food production records before you do a milk audit. And that's because it pulls the data from the system on all of those. And so you'll want to be sure that that is closed out before you conduct your milk audit. So we are going to do a milk audit for February. We have two methods for calculation type. One of them is to use amounts that are calculated from attendance. So that's just assuming that every child got the minimum portion size of the age-appropriate type of milk, and it just crunches those numbers for you. The other option is to use food production amounts. So sometimes the amount that you actually serve on your food production differs from just our estimates. So you can choose either of those. If you do select food production amounts, you're going to want to be sure that you've done a food production record for every single meal that has milk in it. Otherwise, your results won't be accurate. So we're going to do calculated from attendance. And then we have two choices here by day. That goes into each meal each day and gives you a running total of where your milk is at, more like a fuel gauge or a check register. We're going to show you in this video by month. This one is more in aggregate. So it says how much did you purchase over the course of the whole month and how much did you use over the course of the whole month, and did that end up being enough? So we're going to click Create Milk Audit, and it is going to pull the data that is in the system for purchases and for usage. So purchases can come from our expense tracking feature. So any of those that have been pulled from that you recorded in our expenses have a little dollar sign next to them so that you know that that's where those came from. So we've recorded these purchases. And then of course usage is going to come either from your food production amounts, or it's going to be calculated based on meal attendance, depending on which choice you picked there when you created it. So this is saying at breakfast over the course of the month, you should have served 524 cups of 1% milk, 119 cups of whole milk, and then it does the same. This particular center that I am using on a sample didn't serve any milk at snacks. If they did serve milk at snacks, you would of course see those listed as well. And then we've got a subtotal by fluid milk type. So we used 1,047 cups of 1% milk. So that is the 524 plus the 523. And we used 238 cups of the whole milk. So then what this does is it adds up all of the purchases, takes all the usages, and gives you a bottom line number. So we are low on our 1% milk. We are 87 cups short on 1% milk, and we did have enough whole milk on hand to meet all the requirements. So down here we have the option to manually increase and manually decrease amounts of milk on here. A reason that you might have an increase is you want to record an opening balance of milk. The other one would be if you have a purchase of milk. You can use this one either if you prefer not to use our expense tracking feature at all, that's fine. You can just record these purchases manually. Or if you normally use our expense tracking feature but forgot to put one in, you can also add one here. So let's put in an opening balance for our 1% milk. We had 4.5 gallons on hand at the beginning of the month. What that'll do is add this opening balance up here. So it's telling you if you had 4.5 gallons of 1% milk as an opening balance, that's what that is. Notice here that it did convert it to cups. So no matter what units you put in your expense feature, no matter what units you use on your food production records, no matter what units you use on these manual increases and decreases, it converts everything to cups so that we can do easy comparisons. And we are still 15 cups short on 1% milk. So let's say that we forgot to record a purchase of milk. And we did have one more gallon than we had previously recorded in our expense track. Now, anything that's a manual increase will have this little check mark box by it so that you know that it didn't come from that expense tracking feature, but was rather added by hand. So you'll see that one is here, purchase with the little check mark box. And now this milk audit works out just fine. We ended with 1 cup of 1% milk and 2 cups of whole milk. If you need to record a manual decrease at all, you can do that here. The reasons would be if you serve more than the minimum portion size requirement, or you just happen to use more on a certain day, you can add that. Or if there is any spoilage or waste. So let's say that we spilled a cup of whole milk there. If we do that, then again, it'll add that here as a decrease. Okay. When you are done with your milk audit for the month, you can just go ahead and go back to milk audit. It will be saved here. The data is in the database at all times. You can always come back and view it. If you do need to print, you can go up here on your web browser and click print, and that will print the page nicely for you and have your ending balance here.